So as you can see, the bracket finally came out, which means I can make as many brackets as I want. And first, I'm going to pick which logos I like most. Starting with Auburn versus these two teams here. I believe that's Alabama State, and I think Alabama State has the best logo amongst the three here. So Alabama State will be going forward first. Obviously not a great start there. Quickly to clarify, if there are games that have not yet completed yet, or at least the time of recording this video, we're going to compare all three logos, and whichever logo is the best goes on. First, Louisville and Creighton. This one's pretty close. Both great bird logos, but I'm going to have to give Creighton the slight edge. Now, between Michigan and UC San Diego, I'm going to have to go UC San Diego. Michigan's logo is just kind of boring, and that trident is pretty cool. So now between Texas A&M and Yale, neither logo is that good, but that's just a blue Y. I'm going to have to go with Texas A&M here. Ole Miss, San Diego State, and UNC. None of these are bad logos. I'm going to put UNC out first just because I think it's okay. Nothing wrong with it. But Ole Miss, as far as script logos go, that's one of the best ones. But I'm going to have to go with San Diego State here. Iowa State and Lipscomb, both kind of boring. I'm going to go with Iowa State though. Marquette and the New Mexico Lobos. That New Mexico Lobos logo is actually pretty slick, and I'm going to go with that one. Michigan State, Bryant. We're going with Bryant. Florida, Norfolk State. We got to go Florida here. Come on. UConn in Oklahoma. UConn is far and away better there. Memphis and Colorado State. We're going to go with Memphis here as well. That Colorado State logo, not bad. It's not a bad logo by any means, but that Memphis logo, that leaping tiger, that's pretty cool. Maryland versus Grand Canyon. Neither logo I really care for. Grand Canyon, it's kind of goofy. It looks like they're trying to do a just really modern logo here, but I'm going to go with Maryland. Missouri and Drake. Both of these logos are fantastic. I'm gonna have to give the slight edge to Missouri here though. There are a lot of Bulldogs on this list. Now we have Texas Tech versus UNC Wilmington. I'm gonna, again, I don't care amazingly for either of these logos, but I'm gonna go with UNC Wilmington here. Now Kansas and Arkansas. This matchup is actually really good. This is the best one we've had so far, and I put a lot of thought into this one. Both are fantastic logos, but I'm gonna have to say that Kansas logo is slightly more iconic, and it has a very narrow edge on Arkansas. St. John's versus Omaha. We're gonna go with St. John's here. All right, halfway through the left side, or halfway through the bracket, we've completed the entire left side. Duke versus American versus, here I'm gonna go with American. That Duke logo, if it had the blue devil in the middle of it, I would pick it, but we're gonna go with American here. Mississippi State Baylor, again, neither I really care amazingly for, but we're gonna go with Mississippi State. Oregon versus Liberty. I really like that Liberty logo, I'm not gonna lie. Oregon, a little boring. Arizona and Akron, the battle of the two bland A logos. Honestly, I really don't know what to pick here. I think I like Arizona's colors a little bit more, so I'm gonna go with Arizona. BYU versus VCU. Again, that's just like a boring Y. I'm gonna have to go VCU here. That horn here is pretty cool too, the ram horn. Wisconsin versus Montana. Honestly, I didn't know what to pick here, so I went with Wisconsin because they're both just fine, you know what I mean? But the Wisconsin logos, it's sharp. It's well done, you know what I mean? St. Mary's versus Vanderbilt. This one should be easy. It's St. Mary's. Alabama and Robert Morris. I'm gonna go Alabama here. Houston, SIUE. We're gonna go SIUE. That is a really nice logo there. Gonzaga and Georgia, the battle of the Bulldogs. Unfortunately, for one of the universities, their logo is just a G, so we're gonna have to go with Gonzaga here. Clemson and McNeese. We're gonna have to go with Clemson here again. Purdue and High Point. We're gonna have to go High Point here. Illinois, Texas, or Xavier. I'm gonna go with the Texas logo here. Kentucky and Troy. Honestly, the Troy logo, it's cool. It's a sword, but it's not amazingly well done, I feel like. So I'm gonna go with the Kentucky logo here. UCLA, Utah State. I'm gonna go with the UCLA logo here. And then Tennessee, Wofford. We're gonna go with Wofford. So in the first round, already a ton of upsets. We don't have Auburn going through, and also Duke not going through. They're a 1 seed as well. So now we go to the round of 32 here, and we're gonna start with Alabama State versus Creighton, and I'm gonna go with Creighton here. UC San Diego and A&M, and I'm gonna go with UC San Diego. So already a Sweet 16 matchup here that I like. My regular bracket, I don't think it's gonna happen. So we'll see how far this bracket goes. And then we have San Diego State and Iowa State. Again, San Diego State takes it here. New Mexico and Bryant. That New Mexico logo is so good. So is that Bryant logo. Both of these logos are great, and this is definitely one of the best matchups so far, but we're gonna have to go with New Mexico here. Florida and UConn. Again, one of the best matchup we've had so far. I mean, I'd take either of these logos against the two under it. That Florida Gators logo is so iconic, and this UConn Husky is a great logo. I'm gonna have to give a very, very, very narrow edge to UConn. If Florida were to make it, it probably would go just as far as UConn, but unfortunately this isn't a round of 32. I hope this actually happens in the tournament. All right, Memphis and Maryland here. We're gonna go Memphis, just the battle of the M's here, and this one has a leaping tiger coming from it. Gotta go with that one. Missouri and UNC Wilmington. We're gonna go Missouri here. I think there's no doubt here that Missouri is the better logo. Kansas and St. John's. I'm gonna go with Kansas here. All right, so not amazing logos here. American and Mississippi State. We're gonna go Mississippi State, I think. Liberty and Arizona. It's definitely Liberty. That Liberty logo is pretty good. That's the best of the four right there, which means it's gonna be Mississippi State. VCU and Wisconsin. We're gonna have to go VCU, I think. St. Mary's, Alabama. Okay, again, neither logo is amazing. Alabama's just a little more iconic, and I know this logo I'm using, I think it might be an older one, but it's the first one I found online, and I know typically that's the logo that's used for Alabama. Nowadays they just use the middle A, and I think that middle A on its own is pretty slick, so I'm gonna go with Alabama here. All right, SIUE and Gonzaga. This one's really close as well. I think both of these logos are really good, and again, I take both of them over Clemson and High Point here. So, but I'm gonna have to go with Gonzaga on this one. So Clemson and High Point again. I'm gonna have to go Clemson. Texas or Kentucky. We're gonna go Texas here. UCLA Woolford. We're gonna go Woolford. That UCLA logo is very slick. I think it's one of the better logos that just displays text, but we're gonna go with Woolford here just because it's a nice logo. I don't know. All right, now we're down to the Sweet 16, and we have Creighton versus UC San Diego. I just really like that the blue jay in the middle there. I'm gonna have to go with the Creighton Blue Jays here. All right, now we have San Diego State versus New Mexico Lobos, and I'm gonna have to go the Lobos here. I think New Mexico's logo is honestly really good. It's a sleeper pick for one of the best logos in the entire NCAA, so it's got to go forward. Right now on to UConn Memphis. I think UConn takes this one easily. I think Memphis, that's still a good logo, but I'm gonna take UConn over it. Missouri Kansas. I'm gonna go Kansas here. Again, both are pretty good logos. Now we have Mississippi State Liberty. I already showed that's gonna be Liberty. All right, now VCU Alabama. I think I'm gonna have to give VCU a slight nod here. The ram horn on the V there is pretty cool. It's nice touch. All right, Gonzaga Clemson. I think this one's easy. It's got to be Gonzaga. And then Texas Woolford. We got to go Texas here. As far as silhouette logos go, Texas is the best, or near best. I think it's one of the best silhouette logos there are. Now we're down to the Elite Eight. We have Creighton in New Mexico, and I think these are two of my favorite logos in the NCAA. I've got to go with New Mexico here though. Down to UConn Kansas. I got to go to UConn here. Again, two of my favorite logos. I think Kansas has a great logo, but UConn is slightly better. Liberty VCU. Got to give it to Liberty. I think VCU is honestly not a top 8 logo on this list, but it is still a pretty good logo. Gonzaga versus Texas. I'm gonna go Gonzaga here. I think that logo is just so good. Now we have made it to the Final Four. Our Final Four is New Mexico, UConn, Liberty, and Gonzaga. Oh, man, what a matchup. What a matchup. This is New Mexico versus UConn. I've really put a lot of thought into this one, and I've probably changed it a couple of times, but I'm gonna have to give ever so slight edge to New Mexico here. I just think this logo is so cool. It's so creative. And then Liberty Gonzaga, this goes to Gonzaga pretty easily, I feel like. And then in the championship, it's so very close, but I'm gonna have to give it to Gonzaga here. So rounding out the best logos bracket, we have New Mexico, UConn, Liberty, and Gonzaga in the Final Four. New Mexico wins Gonzaga, making it to the championship, with Gonzaga winning the entire thing. Now, that's probably not going to happen in real life, but it's a fun bracket. And then submit bracket. March Madness is so much fun. Let me know who you have winning in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by May. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.